So yesterday's celebration was amazing. It was like a really feast of love, or festival of love, and we were like swimming in that love the whole time. We were feeling Baba Sawan Singh's grace, and we just like to thank Master for all the beautiful seva of our holy brothers and sisters, and really the best time that we can ever have is with our holy family. There is no match to being with our holy family and use our time in love and devotion. Um, all my greatest memories in this life, um, since I was initiated when I was at the age 29, all these years, with I have so many memories with so many dear ones who visited me, who I went to the ashram and did seva with, and we just shared one beautiful thing, which is our love for God and our experiences with our masters, and the harmony that it brought us. And doing seva together was also the most amazing thing, especially in the ashram of Sant Singh in Oregon and in Florida and in New York, when I used to go there and just meet my holy family. And those souls, when you meet your holy family, you just know you're so comfortable first with them that we are in most comfort with our holy family. They are our brothers and sisters, and we know them from many lives. That's why they appeared in our life. And because we are on the holy path, that means we have been together for many, many, many lives, and we reappear together again. You know, Ishwar Puri said it took him 1,000 lives till he found the holy light and sound, that path, which is the highest path. So imagine we probably were together in churches and monasteries and with avatars or rishis and munis, and we went through many many lives and without the holy sound, and maybe probably a couple of lives where we were, or 3 lives where we were um, meditating on the holy light and sound, and the perfect master appeared on our life, but we either came for seva or we didn't finish our journey and we're coming back. So our relationship with each other is the highest relationship. It is it is part of master's relationship that he put the holy ones in our life. He put the holy ones in our life, so we can think of him more. And because everything that we do together, when we are together, is either doing seva for master, talking about master, thinking about master, sharing our experiences on the holy path, the cleaning we go through, the good times we go through, and everything from A to Z about spirituality. We benefit each other. We also give encouragement to each other. And especially the ones who have been on the path for a long time, they have gone through the ups and downs. And when new initiates, they are on the path, then they get the wisdom also from the master directly, from their inner master, and from their holy family. So the holy family really, as I was on the path, I got a lot of learning, a lot of a lot of wisdom, and from the ones who were before me on the path and who have experienced what I am experiencing now. They have already went through that step. So it's the greatest blessing to be together doing seva, thinking of Master in the holy circle of lovers, and to imbibe the love and the vibration of the Master, and to open ourselves, to show ourselves how what we are. It's no, this path is the path of truth, and truth cannot be hidden. And so we share our heart. We share our heart and our love and our devotion to our master. And this love and devotion keeps us coming together. And we either come together in daily satsang, or we come together physically. Like this weekend, I'm going to the Dera with Sister Diti and Brother Vic, and we're gonna meet so many wonderful souls there, our holy family, and it's gonna be another love fest that really every day can be a love fest. Every day of our life can be a love fest when we are in love with Master. When we're in love with Master, then every day becomes a love fest. That's the most important thing, is that we are in love with God. We're in love with Master. That love makes our days a lovely festival. And we can enjoy this lovely festival all the time. That Master is with us, Master is arranging for us, and we are receptive to Master because of our meditation, regular meditation. This regular meditation really harmonizes our system. That if we have any diseases, whether it's mental diseases, worries, problems, or physical diseases, the holy sound, which is the inner master, really harmonizes our whole system from A to Z. Our whole system becomes harmonized when we are listening to the holy sound. When we're listening to the holy sound with all love, with all devotion, with all sincerity, there's no words that can really describe it. If I lose even like one day without meditation on the holy sound, I feel my whole system disturbed, and my longing for the holy sound, for God, for Master increases. Like, oh my God, I overslept, I missed that time that I could have been in the lap of Master in sleep. And so the holy sound really, and sitting in meditation with God, it is like being in God's lap and charging our godly battery and discharging that comes. It really, 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 really harmonizes our system, especially if we're living in the commandments of God, if we are really adding God to us and not losing God through our eyes, our ears, or our senses, that everything is preserved. When everything is preserved in us and we have no leaks in our system, we're not losing God, then what happens? We keep filling ourselves more and more and more. And when we fill ourselves more and more and more, that means more enjoyment, more ecstasy. And ultimately, we will be overflowing. That overflowing is being lost in love, drunk in God, and being just living in the love. And that love we live in, we experience it every day. Life becomes a love story. Really, life is a love story. It becomes a love story when we are connected to God. That means we feel the love. We feel the love. Sometimes it comes in waves. It comes in waves when we are like when we are so concentrated on Master, when we are so longing for Master, and we open our heart to Master, and just sometimes it comes as a big wave that overtakes us. Sometimes it's like an electrical jolt that hits us, and sometimes it's just mellow love. All types of love we enjoy: intense love, mellow love, serene love, peaceful love. That love manifests itself in so many forms, countless forms, and we taste it. Love can manifest itself in a beauty that we see, either inside or outside. Love can manifest itself in seeing the beauty of the inner master that drove us crazy and made us mastanas. Love can manifest itself in a blessing that comes to us in a delicious taste that we might be cooking, and then we taste master in our food. Love can manifest itself in fragrance coming from outside or coming from within us. Oh, saints always have fragrance around them. I've heard so many stories of my holy family saying anytime like some talker passed, oh, did you smell the roses? He's full of roses. And I'm like, I didn't smell the roses. I want that blessing too. I want to smell that rose that you smell on Master. And so, yes, love can manifest itself in fragrance, but mostly love manifests itself in peace, feeling serenity. That God gives us the gift of serenity, the gift of contentment, serenity, peace, peace. Our life becomes peaceful, no disturbances. Any disturbances that come, we can deal with them because we are strong in Master, we are strong in God. Those disturbances cannot sway us from the path. Our roots are growing in God more and more and more, day after day after day. That holiness, divinity, divinity of God is growing in our heart. We're growing in the divinity of our Master, and Master is growing in us. It's a great feeling to feel Master growing in us, talking through us, blessing this world through us. It's a great feeling. It's a joy. Joy is another manifestation of love. Extreme joy comes when we're doing seva with love and devotion and humility, and knowing that He's the doer and He's the only doer, and we're just instruments of His love. When we know that we're just instruments of His love, we are love instruments on the lips of the beloved, and He's playing us like a flute. That brings extreme joy. They always say that the flute is always yearning for the mouth of its player. It's always yearning for the mouth. The flute is yearning for the one who's going to play it. And when we become holy, empty flutes, instruments of love, and we're put on the beloved's mouth, and he starts to play us, he starts to play his music through us, then that is extreme joy. So yes, that is love. Love is felt that way, in the form of joy. In the form of joy, extreme joy. And that extreme joy is addictive. When we're doing seva for our Master, and we're only doing it for our Master. When we serve our Master, we're directly serving His holy children, our holy family. So when we do that seva for our Master and it brings joy, then we want to do it every day. We want it to continue. We want it to continue. If you want to have the joy of seva, ask Master, create some seva for me. And Master will create. It's not just seva in daily satsang, there's seva in daily life that He grants us. I remember when I wanted to do seva for my Master, and I asked him, I want to do seva. And then he just drenched me, overwhelmed me with seva, all types of seva. I remember I told you the story of the seva I did for many months. I used to wear signs on my back and chest. God is now here with Santakar's picture. I used to stand on Michigan Avenue for hours and hours and talk about God with so many people and give brochures of meditation. It said, I still remember it so clearly. Meditation, the way to inner peace. And then you open that brochure, and that brochure had the picture of Sant Singh, and inside it, about the vegetarian diet, the path of the holy light and sound. And people used to read it, and some got initiated. So many got initiated. So that was a great seva. That was a great seva. And you know, you're standing on the road, on the street, a major street in Chicago, where there are thousands of people passing, and all types of comments you hear, good ones and bad ones. And constant Simran was my protection. I had constant Simran by the grace of Master. And that constant Simran put like a holy circle around me, a holy circle of love. That holy circle of love was unbreakable. So no bad comments, no negativity that can be thrown on me can really affect me, because Master was there. I was doing seva for my Master, for Holy Father God, and Holy Father God was there protecting me and enjoying the seva with me. I remember all these. There is a school called Moody Bible Institute. Moody Bible Institute. They used to call it also Moody Bridal Institute, because everybody who wants to marry a Christian girl, or a Christian girl wants to marry a Christian boy, they go to the Moody Bridal Institute. But they're such a devoted souls. They are wonderful people, and but they are stuck in religion yet, because this is their step. They're on that step, and they have to go through that step. Might take them a whole lifetime. But they would all gather around me, and I would start to talk about Master and quote from the Bible, quote from the Bible, and they will all just look and stare and open their mouth, but they were not ready to change. Not ready to change because it's not their time yet. It's not in their schedule. It's not in their destiny. But their soul was enjoying. Well, whenever I was telling them about the reality of the truth, about what Christ taught that they had never heard before, but they heard it, but they didn't understand it. Yet I repeat it, but they could get some of it, some understanding. But really, really, like, I have learned that people in this world can make airplanes. They can be so advanced in technology, but like the simplest thing, the simplest thing, which we understand that God is inside of us. We are here to become God, and and we can learn how to die and start to begin to live on different levels of creation. These simplest things nobody understands. They could be so advanced, professors in technology, making spaceships or driverless cars and robots that look like humans. But when you tell them, learn how to die so you can begin to live, learn how to die, jump out of your body inside. I mean, learn how to withdraw from body consciousness and tap into the beyond. And so many people just listen, but they do not digest. They do not digest. Like, I have learned it the hard way when I tried to drag all my worldly family to see Master. And they came, but they didn't understand what he was saying. Simple thing. We are soul, not mind, not body. They couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand what a perfect Master is. So I learned it the hard way. I learned the hard way not to push myself on worldly people. So this is also an advice for all the young ones on the path. That take it easy with the worldly people. They won't understand you. If you give a pearl, a piece of gold to a chicken, would she understand what it is? She won't understand its value. She doesn't know what it is. And the same way, spiritual development is like that. For us, it seems like so easy. But I think because we are old souls, we went through thousands of lives, that we now imbibe what spirituality is. But for all the ones who have not went through those steps, we have to be really loving, really understanding, and only give answers when we are asked. Only give answers when we are asked, and not to have um, to really push this on people. We can also feel the vibration of the people. We can feel the vibration of the people who is ready for this knowledge and who's not ready for this knowledge, and who's ready for a little bit, not all. That we develop through time and through our experience, and by being receptive to our intuition, which comes from master. When we become receptive to our intuition, which comes from master, then what happens? What happens then is that we are in contact with the vibration of the people who come in our life, and we can know where they are, where they are, and if they're ready for divine knowledge, or if they're not ready for divine knowledge, or how much of divine knowledge we can give them. Some people are just ready to that you can tell them about the law of karma. That's it. What you sow, so shall you reap. If they understand that in this life, that would be a great achievement. That, think good, do good, and think good and do good and have good words and good deeds. What you sow, so shall you reap. And then I usually quote Christ, Lord Christ, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, so shall he have to reap. We can teach that to people. Or some people are only ready to hear maybe about the vegetarian diet. That these things, I think, the law of karma, what you sow, so shall you reap. And we don't have to even go deep into other lives and sinshit karma, or just tell them what you sow, so shall you reap. That should be enough. For others, like about the vegetarian diet, that 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 knowledge is almost for everyone. That if they ask, or if they inquire, or if it comes through our conversation, then we can see about the benefits of the vegetarian diet, and how it changed our life, and how our vibration changed, how we became more subtle, how we lost a lot of anger from us, lost a lot of anger, because the difference in the energy of a lion with the energy of a rabbit, one is more mellow, more peaceful, one is more violent. Also, when we change to vegetarian, we become more mellow, we become more peaceful, we lose a lot of violence, and our vibration changes. We're not coarse, material coarse. And then we will reach levels where even hearing the sound of somebody without even looking at them, you can tell if they eat meat or not. Because you will hear from the coarse sound. It has a lower vibration, more coarse vibration. And we can tell from the voice vibration if people eat meat or not, and if they drink or not, on drugs or not. That also can be known just by being us, being ourselves, and in our master. And he tells us so many things. Those are another forms of love, that he gives us knowledge about ourselves, knowledge about other people. He gives us knowledge about other people just through intuition, or even through meditation. Sometimes in meditation, he tells us stuff about other people. He will tell us in meditation. It will come to us. Information, godly information. No. But mostly it's through our own intuition when we are awake. and we can tell from the vibration. We can tell when we open our eyes and look at the person also through the aura of the person. So many, life becomes a communication, a subtle communication, a subtle communication of love, where wherever we look, wherever we put our hands, we are giving and receiving. We are giving and receiving, and we receive from other people whatever comes out of them. If a bad odor is coming out of them, just like if a bad odor is coming out of a person, we smell it, it affects us. Also, if a person is a temple, he made his body a temple of sexuality, pornography, bad thoughts, bad deeds, the garbage of humanity, violence. Then when we look at them, also we receive something from them. It comes. It comes through a subtle communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. Come. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication, body communication, thought communication, soul-to-soul communication. All these things are forms of communication that we become receptive to when we meditate. So all this knowledge will come to us. All what we have to do is just do our regular meditation, be receptive to our inner master, and then so many gifts will come to us. So many gifts of knowing everything ultimately. Ultimately, as Ishwar said, we're gonna become like master, omniscient, omniscient, knowing everything. And as we grow on the path, we increase in that. We increase in our omniscience, that we know more and more, and we feel more and more. It's all these forms of communication we are receptive to. Soul to soul, mind to mind, thoughts to thoughts, body language. We can start to read body language also. Body language is very important, and the posture of the person. If the post, you can tell if the person feels humility, if he feels guilt, and he doesn't feel good about himself, his posture is down. Yet a body, somebody who's like very confident of himself is always like this, somebody who's defensive goes like this, puts he crosses his hands, gestures in the hand, somebody who's threatened, all these things we learn. How do we learn them? Just by the school of life, the school of life, and meditation, and connection with master. All these things are learned. Oh, I wanted to read to you for a few minutes some poetry. Master brought to me like poetry from Rumi this morning. New poetry from Rumi. I saw it it came on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I want to read. That would be my seva. I would read some of this poetry, and I would read some. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. My love for you has driven me insane. I wander aimlessly, the ruins of my life. My old self, a stranger to me. My old self is a stranger to me. Isn't your old self, before you were initiated, or when you were initiated in the beginning, now it's a stranger? Like, is that Michael? I don't know. That Michael of 29 years, Michael when he was between 17 and 29, I don't know him anymore. He became a stranger to me. My old self, a stranger to me. Because of your love, I have broken with my past. Wow. Because of your love, Master, I have broken with my past. My longing for you keeps me in this moment. My longing for you keeps me in this moment. My passion gives me courage. I look for you in my innermost being. I used to read the myths of love. Now I have become the mystical lover, the mythical lover. The moon has become a dancer at this festival of love, this dance of light, this dance of light, this sacred blessing. This divine love beacons us to a world beyond that only lovers can see. With their eyes of fiery passion, they are the chosen ones who have surrendered. Once they were particles of light, now they are the radiant sun. They have left behind the world of deceitful games. They are the privileged lovers who create a new world with their eyes of fiery passion. In my hallucination, I saw my beloved's flower garden. In my vertigo, in my dizziness, in my drunken haze, whirling and dancing like a spinning wheel. I saw myself as the source of existence. I was there in the beginning, and I was the spirit of love. Now I'm sober. There is only the hangover, and the memory of love, and only the sorrow. I yearn for happiness. I ask for help. I want mercy. And my love says, look at me and hear me, because I am here just for that. And my love says, look at me and hear me, because I am here just for that. I am your moon and your moonlight too. I am your flower garden and your water too. I have come all this way eager for you without shoes or shawl. I want you to laugh, to kill all your worries, to love you, to nourish you. Oh, sweet bitterness, I will soothe you and heal you. Oh, wow. Oh, sweet bitterness, I will soothe you and heal you. I will bring roses. I too have been covered with thorns. In the orchard and rose garden, I long to see your face. In the taste of sweetness, I long to kiss your lips. In the shadow of passion, I long for your love. O Supreme Lover, let me live aside my worries. O Supreme Lover, let me leave aside my worries. The flowers are blooming with the exaltation of your spirit. O Supreme Lover, I long to escape the prison of my ego and lose myself in the mountains and desert. These sad and lonely people tire me. I long to revel. I long to revel in the drunken frenzy of your love. I long to revel in the drunken frenzy of your love. I long to see your light with lamps in hand. I roam the dark alleys of this town, not finding what I seek. You are the essence of the essence, the intoxication of love. I long to sing your praises, but stand mute with the agony of whispering in my heart. It is your face that adorns this garden. It is your fragrance that intoxicates this garden in your spirit, that has made this brook of a river of wine. Wow. It is your face that adorns this garden. It is your fragrance that intoxicates this garden. It is your spirit that has made this brook a river of wine. Hundreds have looked for you and died searching in this garden, where you hide behind the scenes. But this pain is not for those who come as lovers. You are easy to find here. You are in the breeze and in this river of wine. Oh, die in this love. If you die in this love, your soul will be renewed. If you die in this love, your soul will be renewed. Don't fear the death of that which is known. If you die to the temporal, you will become timeless. If you die to the temporal, You will become timeless. Cut off those chains that hold you prisoner to the world of attachment. Die the deathless, and you will become eternal. Die and come out this cloud. When you leave the cloud, you will be effulgent moon. Die to the din and the noise, to mundane concerns. Wow. When you leave the cloud, you will be the effulgent moon. Die to the din and the noise of mundane concerns. In the silence of love will you find spark of life. In the silence of love, you will find the spark of life. A lover asked his beloved, "Do you love yourself more than you love me?" Beloved replied, "I have died to myself and I live for you." Yomi, I have disappeared from myself in my attributes. I am present only for you. I have forgotten all my learning, but from knowing you, I've become a scholar. I've lost all my strength, but from your love, I'm able, if I love myself, I love you. If I love you, I love myself. Wow. I love myself, I love you. If I love you, I love myself. You come to us from another world, from beyond the stars and void of space, transcendent, pure, of unimaginable beauty, bringing with you the essence of love. You transform all who are touched by you. Mundane concerns, troubles, and sorrows dissolve in your presence. Isn't that so beautiful? I love this poem. You come to us from another world, from beyond the stars and void of space, transcendent, pure of unimaginable beauty. That's my master. Unimaginable beauty. Bringing with you the essence of love, you transform all who are touched by you. Mundane concerns, troubles, and sorrows dissolve in your presence. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bringing joy to ruler and ruled, to peasant and king. You bewilder us with your grace. All evils transform into goodness. You are the master alchemist. You light the fire of love in the earth and sky, in the heart and soul of every being. Through your love, existence and non-existence merge. All opposites unite. All that is profane becomes sacred again. From the beginning of my life, I have been looking for your face, but today I have seen it. Today I have seen the charm, the beauty, and the unfathomable grace. Charm, beauty, and unfathomable grace comes from the face of the Master, of the face that I have been looking for. Today I have found you, and those who laughed and scorned me yesterday are sorry they were not looking as I did. I am bewildered by the magnificence of your beauty and wish to see you with 100 eyes. My heart has burned with passion and has searched forever for this wonderful beauty I now behold. I'm ashamed to call this love human and afraid of God to call it divine. To call it divine. Your fragrant breath, like the morning breeze, has come to the stillness of the garden. You have breathed new life into me. I have become your sunshine and also your shadow. Wow. You have breathed new life into me. That's what Master did. He breathed a new life into us. I have become your sunshine and also your shadow. My soul is screaming in ecstasy. My soul is screaming in ecstasy. Every fiber of my being is in love with you. Your effulgence has lit a fire in my heart. I am in the house of mercy. My heart is a place of prayer. I am in the house of mercy. My heart is a place of prayer. Lose yourself. Lose yourself in this love. When you lose yourself in this love, you will find everything. Lose yourself. Lose yourself. Do not fear this loss, for you will rise from the end, for you will rise from and embrace the endless heavens. Lose yourself, escape from the black cloud that surrounds you. Then you will see your own light, as radiant as the full moon. Now enter that silence. This is the surest way to lose yourself. What is your life about anyway? Nothing but a struggle to become someone. Nothing but a running from your own silence. A lover knows only humility. He has no choice. He steals into your alley at night. He has no choice. He longs to kiss every lock of your hair. Don't fret. He has no choice. In this frenzied love for you, he longs to break the chains of his imprisonment. Oh, maybe I should stop because now. Oh, it's almost. It's, oh, okay. There's only one paragraph. Oh God, let all lovers be content. Give them happy endings. Let their life be celebration. Let their lives be celebrations. Let their hearts dance in the fire of your love. My sweetheart, you are aroused. My passion, your touch has filled me with desire. I am no, I am no longer separate from you. These are precious moments. I beseech you, don't let me wait. Let me merge with you. That was from Rumi. Great, 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 great poem. I can't. I'm so. I want to read that poem again in Seva. It's such a wonderful poem. And now I welcome. Thank you, Master, for the Seva. I welcome my very, very dear sister Harinderji.
Hello, Michael. It was great. And you can carry on if you want to tell some poem. I'm listening.
No, I finished.
Okay. So, hello, beautiful family, Radha Swami to all. It was great, wonderful event yesterday, Savan Singh Babaji's birthday. And a little bit, I'm going to tell you about how Master's name, Savan Singh, was given to him. Because he was born in the month of Savan. In this book, Bibi Raj wrote, the modern calendar starts from January and ends with December. Old calendar in India starts from month of Chet and ends with the month of Fagun, which are also 12 months. So, Sama Singh Babaji was born in the fifth month of Indian calendar, and July and August is involved in those months. So, in the Guru Granth Sahib, also they explains after the month of Jeth and Har, the rain starts in the month of Savan. Cool breeze starts blowing. In the month of Savan, people come out of their houses and swing under the trees. The women make marries, but in the human life, if you make merry like those of the women in the month of Savan, you have a permanent bliss. Seekers receive bliss on the worldly and the spiritual levels in this month. As the bee sits on the edge of the pot, which is full of honey, she enjoys the honey and is able to fly after. In the contrary, if the other bee sits on the middle of the pot, she is unable to fly because her wings get submerged in honey. She couldn't eat honey and die. So, like this, man is behaving in the world. They are Manmukh and Gurmukh. The soul who remained busy in doing Simran with the full devotion and love belongs to Guru. Guru is the soul of Gurmukh. The soul who loved world was fixed in the worldly affairs is the soul of Manmukh and they lost the golden opportunity of this birth. So it is explained by his in the Savan month how it says, and they added these good things about honeybee. It was wonderful. So though I'm doing this seva from long time, but the first story I never did. So I'm doing the number one story of this book today. So all the family, let's be with Savan Singh Babaji in the Sangat. Otherwise, you will get bored and start yawning and you need a cup of tea or coffee. Okay, when you imagine, then you enjoy the thing. Yeshwara says the same thing. By imagination, you get everything. So, story number one. Satguru Baba Savan Singh Ji went to the residence of Jai Ram Das, and devotees gathered in his house. After giving satsang, Hajur called the devotees for initiation. He looked at everyone and he called me and said, "Take that lady from here." I said, "Satguruji, be kind to her." I think I did this story, but I like this story. I'm doing it again. "She has come to at your shelter." Hajur whispered in my ear, "This lady will die after 6 days. What is the use of bearing her karmas?" Over this, I interrupted and said, "No, my true master, be kind to her." The, the kind Satguru took pity on her and let her sit in the line. When Hajur was done with initiation, the old lady kept on sitting there in meditation for 4 hours. Hajur asked me to wake her up. I said, "Let her drink whatever she is drinking within your grace." The lady herself woke up and she started to tell everything she experienced, and she said, do not want to leave the inner world. My Satguru took me everywhere in the bright light. There was no darkness inside. After 2 days, she had a light fever, and she told her daughter in law that she would leave the world, and that in 3 days she would catch a high fever at 4 a.m. and would die. My master told me within, she said. When I came to know this, I reached there 1 hour before her death. She saw me coming to her house. Like Bibi Lajo is saying that she saw her coming to her house, and she had already asked her daughter-in-law to take the horse cart and bring Bibi, and the Bibi was ready to come. When I saw the horse cart and the lady at the station, I was surprised how she knew I was on my way to her house to see her mother-in-law. Amazing. She already knew that Bibi Lajo is coming and she sent the cart there at the railway station. And when I reached the house, I asked the lady how she knew that I was coming. She told me that the master was telling her, standing by her bed, and was ready to take her with a beautiful smile. This is a story of 18 years before Hajur left his body. He was so kind that he would initiate those who never remembered God. My Satguru was greatest of all. So it's a wonderful story how he helped that lady. With one satsang, he took her. I also pray the same thing. So now story number 36. This is story of Devlali. This is a town in India and in Maharashtra. So from Devas, Hajur reached Devlali. Numberless satsangis were waiting for him. So he was traveling from different city to different city, and so from Devas, Raju reached Devlali. Numberless satsangis were waiting for him. Everybody was putting in efforts to prepare for the celebration of Hajur's arrival. As soon as the Hajur's motor car arrived, everyone ran towards him to have his darshan. They were singing shabads in his praise. Mitya andhera chand chadya Satguru da darshan paya, which means all darkness disappeared and the moon rose up when we had the darshan of Satguru. Word meanings, we don't need that. Satguruji met everyone lovingly. He accepted their greetings, Radha Swami. He bestowed his lyrical glances upon everyone. Thereafter, he began saying with love, "Okay, I'm very happy with every brother and sister. Now, everyone take rest, and I'm also going to wash my face and hands, then we'll take some rest. After that, I have to do satsang." Sangat happily dispersed. Sache Pacha said, "Kako, now we should move from here and you also arrange your kitchen and settle everybody at their places." Brother Atmaram gave the house for Hajur's residence. There were no beautiful houses. Sache Pacha became very happy to see their houses. Deen Dayal did not look at the beauty of the houses, but he looked at the love of the Satsangi. He used to make everyone happy. The house where Hajur stayed was an ordinary house. It had a roof made of bamboo and dry grass. The place for satsang was decorated very nicely. In one room, Hajur was staying, and the kitchen was attached to his room. Hajur gave the satsang in the evening and thereafter connected the souls with divine light and the sound and the process of initiation. Hearing Hajur's satsang, people of various castes and religions, Hindu, Muslims, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, all felt very happy. The gracious master never made anyone's heart sad. Whenever he used to sit for satsang, he always gave everyone a brilliant divine look, which would make everyone intoxicated. After the holy initiation, Sache Patsha had his dinner. He was lost in his spiritual thoughts and didn't speak much. A large number of people gathered for his satsang. Thousands of people among them wanted to have holy initiation. They requested Satguruji for initiation. Deen Dayal replied, I will tomorrow morning. He replied, I will, but tomorrow morning. The Sangat was overjoyed to hear this. After the evening satsang, some disciples took Hajur to show him the town and sandal trees. They said, Sache Patsha, you will have a walk as well as you will look at the things of our town. Atmaram, a devotee, brought a piece of sandalwood and a pair of wooden slippers for Hajur and gifted them to him. When Hajur came back, entered his house, he said, call in Kaku. So Atmaram came to me and told the Hajur wanted to see me. I presented myself before Hajur. Hajur said, Kaku, you have come. Very good. My child, take these wooden slippers and keep them with you. This is a gift from Atmaram. Ask him the price. I will pay him for them. Then we will leave. Hajur gave 10 rupees to Atmaram and I took the wooden slipper and sandalwood to keep them with me. Hajur stayed in Devalali only for 3 days. The next morning, Hajur took a bath and was ready to give initiation. During the selection of the people for initiation, there was a big crowd of people. There was still increasing more and more. So Hajur said, bring 2 or 3 more ladies and I will let these people go one by one and all of you help them to have their rooms for sitting. Hajur selected 1100 people and rest of them were sent back. Hajur graciously initiated 1100 people and gave his blessing. Then he said, my sons, you all have been initiated now. Do Simran and Bhajan with your heart and soul. Don't care for anything else. Do meditation. Peace is within you, and you will find eternal peace only by doing Simran and Bhajan with attention. Only the fortunate ones can get the wealth of initiation. So, luckily, you are all blessed with this wealth. But make Sadhguru appear inside. My sons and daughters, be punctual and regular for meditation with love and devotion. Do not miss it even for a day. You may spend only 5 minutes, but never have off for meditation. If you have off even for a single day, you will lose the reward of 6 months meditation. So make sure never have off or miss it. Always think of the master's presence inside. Consider the husband as God, and the men should never have a bad eye on another woman. They should always think of their own wives. So I have explained to you enough. Never give less than 2.5 hours to meditation. Now you can go and you are free to leave. Like he said, these things of initiation. At the time of meditation during initiation, some experienced the light, some sound, some saw the radiant form of the Hajur Dadaji, showered a lot of grace. After initiation, Sache Patsha had a bath and changed his dress. He was done at 3 p.m. After having rest for 2 hours, at 5 p.m., he again gave the satsang for 2 hours. Hajur was never much tired. After the satsang, he said, Kako, we have to leave for Chittavat tomorrow. In the morning, give milk to everyone and pack the food. It's a long journey. I packed everything at night. Hajur gave a lot of blessings to Atma Ram and Sangat and said, I'm very happy with all of you. You have done a lot of seva for me and my Sangat. A lot of money has been spent, but do not worry, Master will bless you with more money. Have faith in the Master. Master doesn't find anyone to share with him. Sangat was in tears over the separation of the beloved Satguru Deen Dayals. Brothers, do not cry. I am always with you. Satguru is present with his devotees even in the forests and mountains. Then Hajur told them a story that 2 devotees went to Burma. Burma is a neighboring country of India, and they lost their way. They were lost in the dense forests, which were surrounded by lions and tigers. The night was falling. Both became nervous and started thinking what to do. They thought of their Satguru and sat in meditation in his remembrance. When they remembered their Satguru with a true heart, he appeared. Satguru led them and they followed him. He helped them reach their house. Then the Satguru disappeared. All the Sangat started saying, Satguru is great, Satguru is great. Your grace is limitless. The gift of your kindness and mercy is endless. After giving a lot of time to the Sangat, he drank the milk. He was very happy to make everyone happy with his melodious words, which attracted everyone's attention. Then Hajur said to me, Kako, have you prepared the food? Yes, Hajur, everything is ready. I replied. Then he said, very good, Kako. I'm very happy with you. You always finish the work very quickly. I said, Deen Dayalji, it's all your grace. Then Hajur said to the Sangat, now, brothers, give me leave. I have to do a long journey. Then laughingly he said, let us go, Kako. Everybody has to leave without any admiration. After saying these words, he got into the car. Due to the separation of Hajur and Sangat's hearts were getting broken, Sadhguru looked at the Sangat and took his seat in his car and bade Radhaswami to all to them and caught the way to Chittavat. So this was the story. Michael, I have time or I'm done? Hello.
Yeah, you have time.
Okay. Then I have a little bit too from the philosophy of masters. It was pending on that day. So I was doing the topic devotion. What type of devotion should be rendered? So it helps me to also get the knowledge. It's a wonderful book. So I was here. The contemplation of a devotee is always fixed on the form of the Guru, and he thinks about his master day and night. His attention is centered on him uninterruptedly. When he dies, the soul will go where the Guru is. It cannot go anywhere else. The following quotations are from Gita. And he who at the last hour remembers me only and then departs, leaving the body, enters into me. Of that there is no doubt. Whatever form a man continually contemplates, the same he remembers at the hour of death, and the very form he goes. On me fix thy mind, to me bring thy devotion, to me offer thy sacrifice, to me make thy obeisance, and then to me indeed shalt thou come. Solomon is my promise to thee, for that thou art dear to me. Those devotees who have fixed their attention on the Guru will never go empty handed. They are free from all troubles and pains as well as the clutches of the negative power. When a person concentrates the attention of his body and mind and speech, in other words, when he concentrates his soul at the eye center, then his inner eye is opened and he is able to see the Lord inside, who whose luster radiates there permanently like that of the sun. It is therefore necessary that the internal eye be opened in order to enable a person to have communication with the Lord. Then he sings, he praises, he sees him at all time and bows before him with his mind and with his life. He sees him inside with the inner eye and does not look for him outside. Even if the physical eyes are open, they remain open but do not see at that time because all the attention is centered within. In other words, all outward activities is stopped and he is conscious of the beloved within himself. Kabir Sahib says, O my beloved, enter my eyes, and I shall immediately close them, for then I shall not see anybody else, nor shall I permit you to look at anyone else. When I'm awake, I see you. When I sleep, I feel you inside. At all times, I think of you and do not forget you for a moment. Kabir further describes the proper type of bhakti, devotion. We should place a beautiful bed in the pupil of the eye, which should serve as a room. The eyelid should serve as a door, and the beloved should come and lie in this bed. Then my dress should be prem, love, and the collyrium should be shanti, peace and quiet. Put the vermilion of courage on my head, then only can I enjoy the happiness of being with my beloved. The path of love is easy, but the difficulty lies in us. We do not know how to dance, and in our ignorance we find fault with the floor. The path of the beloved is very difficult, just like the edge of a sword. And once you come out to dance, there is no question of feeling shy. Awesome. All saints have described bhakti as being the comparable to a wife's love for her beloved husband. Even Narad Rishi described bhakti in the same strain. Even devotee has love for God in the same manner as a woman has love for her husband. We can describe only by means of an example. The happiness which comes to a person when he is in communication with God by saying that it is similar to the love between man and a woman. The Hindu Upanishad tells us as a lover and a beloved meet and are happy in the intoxication of their union and feel that they are one and are at the same time absolutely unaware of the happenings in the world beyond their physical bodies. In the same manner, when a devotee commutes with God, he feels much greater happiness and goes far above pain and desires because this happiness is consummation of all desires. This analogy is found not only in Hindu scriptures but also in many other books. Cardinal Newman says, if the soul desires to obtain the height of bliss, it is essential that it becomes like a bride yearning for her beloved. Christ also referred to God as a bridegroom in one of his parables, and those who looked for the bridegroom were referred to in that parable as brides. Many saints among us, the Christians, have referred to themselves as the brides of Christ. In describing inner experiences of their mind, they have given the idea of spiritual marriage. Saint John supplicated Christ in the following words: make me your bride. So long as you do not press me to your side, I can have no pleasure from anything in this world. When Saint Francis saw the resplendent form of Christ in his state of superconsciousness, he cried out, "O my beloved Lord, I am now your wife." Saint Catherine often said that she was betrothed to Christ. She also wore a ring and said that it was the sign of love from her beloved Christ. What is the meaning of love for the Lord? The currents of devotion have to be concentrated inside. This is real devotion, nothing else. What, Michael? Can I read more? Or okay, one paragraph
Yeah.
more. What are the
Okay.
practices by which we can be successful in devotion? The first condition is to have only one object in mind. For devotion should be offered to one only. The rays of the sun are able to burn a piece of cloth if they are concentrated through the magnifying glass. But if they are spread over a large area, they are unable to do so. Similarly, if the currents of devotion coming from one's mind are concentrated on one's beloved, then the fruit of devotion increases and one can act in any manner one desires. So long as devotion is not one pointed, the idea of duality will be on one's mind, and consequently, there will be no concentration. Therefore, for true devotion, one pointedness is the most essential. In other words, the object of devotion should be one. A woman who has one husband is suhagan, happily married. It means she is able to obtain real happiness out of marriage. Contact and communication with one person or one object only gives purity of heart and also results in a joyful life. Intimate contact with more than one is impure and leads to disputes and other trouble. This is also true in connection with the spiritual life. Kabir brings the idea home to us in the following quotation. A chaste and a faithful wife is dyed in the hue of her beloved. In other words, she is the queen of the home, whereas the other type of moves from place to place and has no goal. A faithful wife who has only one husband is very happy, but a woman who has many is foul of mind and body. Both types are to be found in the human form. Therefore, in the Sikh and other scriptures, one will find emphasis placed on the fact that the object of devotion should be one. You should sing and praises of one. You should have simran, repetition, and remembrance with the one pointed mind. How can I praise the qualities of that state in which mind and body are both joined in being devoted to one object of love? We should think only of only one object, and we should repeat the name, five holy names, of only one object, the Lord. The object should rest firmly in the seat of our mind. We should sing his praises at all times and remember him with concentrated attention. In devotion, it is considered sinful to give place in one's mind to thoughts of love for more than one object, because that brings no results. We should not give our heart to anyone other than the object of our love, because if we do that, we will not have peace of mind. The second essential condition is satsang, through association. We should stay in the company of the persons who have devotion fully established in their minds. A melon near another melon will take on its color. If we are in the company of saints, we shall also be dyed in the hue of their devotion. In other words, our devotion will become strong. And it says in the Guru Granth Sahib, association with the saint is exalted and pure. Whoever remains in such company develops the state of communication with God, communion with God. Devotees whose minds have made friends with saints are so much dyed in the hue of God's love that their love will never waver. O Kabir, it is better if dark is a bitter shrub, is grown near a sandal tree, because once it's placed near the sandalwood, it will imbibe its fragrance. Kabir said this. So, devotion is a gift which is bestowed on devotees. When we enjoy this boon, we are fully saturated with the color of devotion. But this can be achieved only by the grace of the God, Lord. Association with saints is association with God. Their grace and kindness is the grace of God, because God is manifest in the saints, and the saints are fully immersed in God. Guru Granth Sahib says, the devotee of the Lord is the same as the Lord. There is no difference between the two, even if one of them should be found in human form. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, saints are my heart, and I am their heart. We should avoid bad company. Wealth and lust are two difficult obstacles which cause destruction if one is engrossed in them. By intimate contact with bad company, one becomes lost. Likewise, we should not associate with persons whose behavior turns our minds away from our object of devotion, because association with them will lead us astray, will make us arrogant, and will tempt us into many other vices. Even if you have many good qualities, you should lead a life of humility and consider those qualities as a gift from God, because God loves the humble. Remember this well in your heart and do not enter into unnecessary disputes or critical discussions, because such discussions lead nowhere. They may be compared to churning water. The path of devotion is also the path of action. Kabir says, this devotion is a path of action and of not of intellect. Therefore, do not talk about practice devotion, but for then you will achieve something. We should not indulge in disputes with anybody, because the tongue that speaks ill of others should instead drink only the name of Ram, God. The third essential condition is the proper diet. Our food should be sattvic, that which produces tranquility and pure thoughts. This includes rice, wheat, pulses, milk, and curd. Food conditions our mind, so our ideas will have the same qualities as the type of food we eat. If we take Rajasic food, that which produces restlessness and anger, like meat, fat, and so forth, the mind will become restless. But if we take Tamasic food, that which produces sluggishness, like stale food, fish, wine, and other heavy and pungent things, we shall be prone to laziness. Consider the entire world as having issued from the one God, and therefore do not harm or injure anybody's mind by your talk or action. The study of scriptures and maintaining a good character and practice of Simran, attending satsang, and a habit of non-violence, kindness, purity of body and mind, faith, prayer, and seeing God in everything. All these factors help us in our devotion to Him. One should forget himself and everything else while engrossed in love for the Lord. He should lead a life in accordance with the edicts of religion. Then he makes progress towards the object of the devotion. Otherwise, he reverts to idle pursuits. So next time I will do how can devotion be achieved. But the first number is by God's grace. He holds the treasure of devotion. So I think it's good to do this much, otherwise we'll all get to sleep. Okay, Michael, thank you.
Thank you so
Radha
much. I
Swami,
enjoyed.
uh,
Beautiful, beautiful surrender.
wonderful. I'm also enjoying and learning doing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we can listen to our Holy Father and enjoy.
Welcome, friends, to the second half of the second day of our 3-day program here. I have been sharing with you information about our true self, which lies within our external self and can be found by anybody by the practice of meditation with the help of a perfect living master who has already traveled on the same path and gone home. He can take us because he knows the way. This information I am sharing with you because I got this information from my master, whose picture you see here, Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji. His initiation given to me led to a lot of questions, led to doubts in my mind, because I discovered that the mind doubts everything. I was no exception. I doubted if this was merely a made-up story. It could be a made-up story. People make nice stories. I said this could be just a nice story that there are levels of consciousness and their true home is somewhere else, that we are immortal souls. It could all be a big story. The truth might be that we are just here temporarily for one birth, and after we are gone, we are dead, and then some other people come and they go. How do we know really what is true? So it led to a lot of questioning, and I am very happy that I questioned so much. In fact, I rebelled against this path. The reason for rebellion was that I did not search for this path properly. I was born into a family that believed in him. And my father was initiated by the same Guru, same Satguru, before he was married. So it all started, everybody in the family became a disciple. So when I was born into a belief system that already existed there. I did question, even as a young child, I did question, if I were born in a different family, supposing I was born in a Muslim family, I would believe in Allah and would believe in the Prophet, just because I would be growing up like that. If I was born as a Christian family, I would be believing that Christ is the only Savior and all others are heathens. Similarly, depending on where I would be born, I would have a head start into that particular belief system. And just to be born and believe something could be just that you are being put into a frame from which you cannot get out. The seed is planted so early in our childhood that it's very difficult to get rid of those beliefs that we are growing up with as children. When I was initiated by this master, I was very young. I was only 9.5. And my father did not know I had been initiated. It was my grandfather, who was initiated later after my father, who took me to the master and wanted me to get half initiation. Half initiation in those days meant that those who were young children, less than teenagers, the great master would sometimes give them half initiation, how to listen to the sound inside. When they grew up, they came again for the remaining second part of the initiation, which is Simran, or repetition of words through special words that he would give. I was taken by my grandfather for half initiation, but the master jokingly asked me, do you want the initiation that is sweet or salted? You want sweet naam or salted naam? Now, I had seen that many kids used to go in front of him and he would ask the same question. What kind of naam do you want? Do you want sweet or salted? They would all say sweet. And he had some sweets on his side. He'd give them a few toffees or candy and they would run away, very happy. And he used to explain that at that age, children do not understand the value of what they are getting. And when they grow up, they have a better chance to appreciate what they get. So when I went, he asked me the same question. He said, do you want salted or sweet? And since I had seen the other kids running away with sweets, I said, no, I don't want that. I want that which is inside. So he laughed, but did not tell me if I was going to be initiated or not. He just was holding my arm and he kept holding it. I thought I have been dismissed with sweet and salted stuff. But later on, when he had finished the selection of other candidates, then he said, come inside, I'll give you full initiation. I was myself surprised that he would give full initiation, but he did. And I was very happy to get to know something, that there was some kind of a craving in me to know what it is all about, since the whole family was accepting it. When I reached home, my father was excited. Oh, my son has been given full initiation so early. And some Satsangi friends came to see us, who were also initiates of the great master. And when my father said, do you know, master initiated my son at this early age, gave full initiation. They said, oh, so sorry to hear that. That's what they said. Oh, that's terrible. And their argument was, he's so young, he doesn't know what he's got. When he grows up, he'll rebel against it. And he'll then discover that he was just duped into his particular belief system because he was caught young. And this was not fair at all to him, to give him initiated so young. Now, I was listening to this conversation from the other room, this conversation between those people and my father. It occurred to me, they're right. I never got a chance to examine what I'm getting. I am just accepting it because of my parents. I never got a chance to look for it myself. I am going to try everything now. Fortunately, at the time of initiation, the great master had said, in introducing in the introduction, he said, what I am going to give you, I got from my master. It has worked for me. I hope it will work for you. But if you find something better, take it. Don't come running back to me for my permission. I give you permission in advance. Now that was a very good statement he made, which means he left the door open. It was not a cult or closed circuit thing that you can't get out once you get into it. He said, if you find something better, take it. So my search for something better started almost immediately after I was initiated. And I went and tried everything that was possible. Spent about 8 or 9 years, most of my teenage years, were spent searching for something better. And I wanted to try religion, spirituality, yoga, all kinds of things. After trying all those things, and I kept the master informed that I am still trying to find something real, better than what he has given me. After all those years, I remember ultimately I had to give up because I couldn't find something better. But I decided never to give up this search. Today, I am 86 plus. I have been initiated for over 75 years and I am still searching for something better. If tomorrow I get something better, I'll take it. Under the instructions of my own guru. He said that if you find something better, take it. I could not find something better because my whole life was spent searching for something better. And I feel very happy that I got something and I couldn't find something better. As a service to my master, as a seva to him, I am sharing all these things with you. I am not sharing it to persuade anybody to follow this path. I am not sharing this that, look, what I am saying is right, what others are saying wrong. No, everybody is saying right in their own way. But what I have got, it worked for me. If it had not worked for me, I would not have come before you. Because I believed that if a thing doesn't work, you shouldn't follow it. So since it worked, therefore I'm sharing all this with you. I'm giving you this background to tell you that I got a chance, though much later, to study all other available options, religious and spiritual. I got converted to Islam. I got into the other traditions. I got baptized, dipped in the water. I got all those things done. And then I went with the yogis and I practiced strange kind of diets with them and strange kind of yogic practices. I tried all that. And then I came to the conclusion that those things take you up to a certain point, a certain stage, but not more. If your desire, seeking, if your inner seeking is for the highest truth, you want the ultimate, and you want to say, I want to go back home. If that feeling is in you, then this is the path for you. If you want other results, there are many other options available to you, and you can get them. People get yoga, they do yoga for health reasons. I encourage them. Go ahead. Whoever wants to follow anything, they are free to follow them. And this particular path, which he has taught, which I found is ultimately supported by all original teachings of the different founders of religions, as well as all true spiritual masters. Then I found this is workable, and I come and share this with you. This is not supposed to be a closed society. This is supposed to be a method open to everybody. So, anybody can try. You can try part of it. If it doesn't work, give it up. Try something else. Be very open about it. Be practical. Don't say that, don't make it into a religion. Don't make it into a set of rules, do's and don'ts from which you cannot get out. So be very open. And that's how I proceeded with it. I am giving you this background to tell you that you are absolutely free to examine it and see it works or doesn't work. And if it works, good. If it doesn't work, try anything else. Try everything that you can if you are interested. Supposing you are not interested, don't have to try it. Once a gentleman came to me, he was hearing my talk, and he walked up to me. He says, I am leading a very happy life. I have everything I want. I have plenty of money. I have got a nice house, nice family. I am living very happily. Why should I follow this path? I said, no, you shouldn't follow this path. You're happy, go and enjoy your life. This is not meant for you. This path is meant for those who feel that we are fed up with this, where we are trapped. We don't like it anymore. We don't feel we belong here. It's meant for those people. It's not meant for those people who say we are having a great time and enjoying this world. Go enjoy. Of course, the postscript to the story is after 1 week he came back to me again and he said, I am miserable. I said, what happened to all those goodies that you had? He said, but you know, in spite of all that good house and all the money, my wife betrayed me. My children didn't follow what I told them, and all the horror stories of his family life, which made it so terrible for him. And then he was looking for something. So, when you really look around, people are generally not happy. They pretend to be happy. They want to keep up with the Joneses, as it were. And if somebody looks happy, go and stay in their house for 2 days, and you'll find out what's going on there. Unhappiness is very common here. And then there is a certain kind of unhappiness people cannot even express. And that arises from a feeling of loneliness, feeling that we are alone. In spite of being in a crowd, we feel nobody understands us fully. Nobody understands what's going on in our heart. Even our relationships are skin deep. They're just outside. And the inner part of us is not being understood by anybody. We are alone. That loneliness is natural to us. That loneliness is not being experienced by our minds. That loneliness is being experienced by our soul. It's the soul's yearning to go back to its own totality, that's causing that loneliness. And we try to overcome that loneliness by making relationships in this physical world. We try and run out, meet more people, occupy ourselves, do more shopping if necessary, and buy things, eat more. How do we overcome loneliness? We do things that don't really help, but we think we are preoccupied with those things, therefore we are no longer lonely. But the loneliness doesn't go away. It does go away on the spiritual path, on this path, because you discover you are going where you belong. And ultimately you feel completely contented and satisfied, because that was a true home inside you where you belonged. And you discover then you came on a very temporary visit for an adventure into this area of experience, in different areas of experience, and you have now gone back home. You can make any number of trips. Some people tell me that if this was such a great adventure, why is there so much misery around here? Why is there so much cruelty going on? Why are people killing other people? Why are hospitals full of patients groaning with pain? Why are prisons full of people for committing crimes? What kind of adventure is this? How could we think of coming to a place like this and call it adventure? It doesn't look like any good adventure. I on turn ask them, why do you go and see horror movies? Why do you go and see tragedies on the stage? Because you know it's on the stage. And you know that when you see the opposite of something, you experience the opposite. That if you don't experience pain, pleasure has no meaning. Look at your life. Have we not experienced everything by its opposite? If we did not have the opposite, we wouldn't have the experience. So this is a world of duality, a world of pairs of opposites, created to enhance the experience that we want. The ultimate experience of our home is supposed to be so great, but we don't know it till we come here. I read in one of the texts that the souls that decided to stay back home, adventure land, we call them Bans. And those who come to this world and go back are called Hans. So there is a little dialogue between the Hans and the Bans. When the Hans soul goes back home, is dancing with joy. Those people are dancing already because they are in bliss in Sachkhand in their true home. But the Hans who go, they dance even better. And the Bans say to the Hans, what's so special about you that you are dancing even more than us and enjoying more than we have ever enjoyed? We are in the same bliss, are we not? And the Hans tells them, you don't know what you're missing because you've never seen the other side. So it's only by seeing the other side that you are able to appreciate your own true home. So the very purpose of coming into an adventure land of this kind, adventure land of duality, is to go back home where there's no duality and appreciate it in a way that we never appreciated before. So there's a purpose in everything. The grand purpose of creation can only be seen when you look at the grand picture of how the creation works and what happens when you go back home. Supposing you feel it's a terrible place to be here in, and then you wake up, you say, thank God it was just a dream. It's the same thing. You go back, you say, thank God it was not created in reality. It was created through the process of illusion, and therefore it was dreamlike. But while the dream is going on, looks real. So although we may have so many kinds of experiences of pain and pleasure, high and low over here, our appreciation of our true home goes up manifold when we have been here and then go back home. So therefore there's an advantage in this strange, cumbersome visit to this adventure land we call the three creations of the mind, the physical, the astral and the causal. These three creations contain everything that can be created. If you examine these three creations, the physical world itself is huge, vast spaces. We are trying to find new planets. We are trying to find how many galaxies more can be explored. Every time we have a better telescope, we see more. And every time we see more, we see in the past. It's strange that the time and space factor has narrowed our vision to such an extent that if when we look at the stars in the sky, we can never see what the stars look like today. Have you ever noticed that we only see the stars after the light from the stars comes to us? And the nearest star is more than 1 light year away. That means the star we see in the sky, the nearest star, is the star that was there 1 year ago. The other stars which were there billions of years ago, some stars were millions of years ago, we see a sky full of stars. There may be very few, but they are all being seen at different stages of time. So time has created a vastness in this physical space, and we cannot even see that. We cannot simultaneously see any part of the sky. We see sky at different times in the past. We never see anything in the future, we see all in the past. But as I said yesterday, our whole life is based upon seeing the past. And therefore, our vision is very limited. Though we think we are very clever, that we have been able to see so much, we are looking at the past. We are seeing what stars were there, what the beginning of this universe was like, because we can't see the present state at all. We can only see the present state which is immediately around us. The more distant we go, either in space or in time, we are going backwards in history. But in the inner planes, you have the opportunity to travel faster than the velocity of light. And therefore, you are able to see the galaxies as they are today. You are able to see what exists in the physical firmament. You can see as it exists today from within, not from outside. We are very limited outside. Inside, our capacity to experience is much greater. And therefore, for a curious person, like me, and like many others, curious persons would like to explore all that. I wanted to explore. I said, if it is possible that this is a vision available to us to see things of this world and all other worlds, why not explore it? It can take some time, but it's worthwhile. So I found that the exploration of creation itself is a great journey. Even if you did nothing else but just explore this, it's a great journey inside. Imagine the possibility of being able to travel at that speed with means that exist inside us, but not outside. We are bound, we have become solidified and stuck here. We are very stuck, we are in cages, trapped here. We don't feel like that. We think this is our body. The body is also a cage. It doesn't allow us to fly. It doesn't allow us to go at any high speed. We can fly in aeroplanes with very limited speed. So we have within ourselves the capacity to travel at amazing speeds and explore this and other universes. So just from the point of view of a curious explorer, this meditational technique helps us to go through that. It becomes more and more interesting the higher you go up. So this meditational technique is not merely to open an inner doors and go somewhere. It opens the doors to every kind of possible experience you want to have in created universes at all levels. So I am saying a lot of these things because many people criticize that maybe meditation makes you more selfish, maybe it makes you more self-centered, maybe you don't care for other people. That's not true. Through meditation, your compassion increases, your love for everybody increases. You genuinely experience the fact that all are just being created from the same source. And you can't call anybody bad. You can't make judgments. It becomes very difficult once you come to know how everybody has been created, how there are many created from the one. Your whole approach changes. Like in the Gurbani, Guru Sahib says, Jiya jant sab tudde, sabna ka soi, manda kisnu akhiye je koi duja hoi. When all are being created from the same source and all belong to the same one, how can I call anybody bad? How can I make a judgment on anybody? I'm making judgment on the only one. I'm making judgment on myself. This idea of getting free from judgment is a very big change in our life. We judge all the time. We are constantly judging people, constantly getting trapped into the judgment and creating gossip out of judgment and thinking, oh, we are enjoying ourselves. People enjoy gossip. A lot of gossip involves judgment. A lot of gossip involves scandal. And we love that. Look at our state of life and how it will change by simple knowledge of your own self, knowledge of what our soul is, knowledge of how the soul is part of the only one. This actual experience changes you. You don't have to learn how to love everybody, you will love automatically. So therefore it's a very big change in life that takes place. I call these other changes as perquisites, perks of this meditational path, side benefits. But the side benefits themselves are attractive enough for somebody, even for a non-believer, to try it out. For the side benefits, they are so great, it changes one's life considerably. So that's why I recommend to all seekers, try anything, try all different paths that are available to you, all options, and then see if this path of the masters, which is based upon a very simple principle. The principle of this path is that our attention is available to us to put it where we like. We can put the attention on the self where it comes. The self has its own identity and it has a resonance which becomes like a sound at this stage and becomes like a higher resonance as we go higher up. Ultimately it becomes the creative power that creates all experiences. This is part of our soul, our self, that when we attach ourselves through our attention to the self, that sound, that resonance, that melody, which we have called the word, the shabd, the naad, we have given different names to it, that can pull us up by itself. It has the power to pull us back to our true home. It resounds throughout every region, right up to here. And right in the physical plane, we can get hold of it, and that sound can pull us up. Our attention attached to the sound is the royal road to our true home. This is called the Surt Shabd Yog. Surt Shabd Yog means, the Surt means the attention, Shabd means the sound, and when this attention is attached to the sound, it can pull us back. It's a simple system, very simple. Don't have to make headstands and do all those things. You follow conditions which are good for meditation, general conditions which are good for meditation, which are eat very simple food, be a vegetarian, and even as a vegetarian, you eat the minimum that you require. It does not mean that becoming a vegetarian, having lots of food and not being able to even get up in the morning, that's not being vegetarian. The idea of being vegetarian is to eat the lightest food with the least extinguishing of life possible in the food, which is vegetables. If you eat animals, it causes a different reaction on your subconscious mind and it makes concentration more difficult. If you kill somebody or somebody else kills for you, there's an impact on your subconscious mind, and that it prevents you from concentrating your attention properly. So this is just one of the simple requirements. Don't take drugs, don't take alcohol, don't take things that scatter your attention even more. Take simple, easy life, and in a very simple method, which anybody can do, from a small child to an old man can do it. Follow this method and you get all the experiences of every stage. So this appears to me to be a very great pathway. People have tried different pathways, but this takes you to the furthest point, because you are traveling on something that is itself is originating from your true home. This shabd or this sound current originates from your true home and has the power to pull you back there. You just have to attach yourself. The other requirements, to use repetition of words, use Simran, to use other practices, how to center yourself and so on, those are to enable you to catch hold of this melody coming inside. Once you catch hold of that melody, that sound, nothing else is needed except to stick to that sound. It takes you back home. So this, according to me, is a very straightforward and simple method to discover who we are and to go back to our true home. I hope we will get some more time tomorrow to practice. I understand that we have limited time in this facility to use here. I would have loved to have longer sessions of of meditation with you. And if we ever get a chance to have a regular several days of meditation workshop, which I sometimes have in the United States or elsewhere, if we have that chance, then we'll be able to sit for long periods of meditation. These were just sample sessions that we had, very short sessions, to tell you how we can proceed to find ourselves inside. So at some point we may have that possibility, but then there is a list of personal interviews. How many of you have asked for a personal interview? Please raise your hand. We could spend a few days on that. Because of the number of hands that have gone up, and unless somebody raised both hands, but I think there were lots of hands that went up, so we'll have to make the interviews very short. So come up with the most important relevant question that you want to ask, and cut the time short so that everybody who has raised their hands can get a chance. We'll set apart some time today and sometime tomorrow. I'm told that we have to vacate this place by 5 o'clock. So if you see the time is 3:45, we don't have too much time. I can only now do a short session of meditation with you, in which I want you to introduce the most important factor in meditation, which is love and devotion. Why do we use two words, love and devotion? Because we don't know how to love. We have been calling attachments as love. All the time we are attached to something, we say we love that. Even when a person says, I love you, hear that person carefully. I love you. I is so strong in that person. It's very often an ego trip. When a person says, I love you, ego trip. Supposing the response is, but I hate you. Then the person says, I hate you too. What happened to the love? In one sentence it can go away. This mental attachment, which we have been calling love, is not love. In love, the I disappears. In love, you don't even think of the I. The I takes a back seat, and the you, the beloved, takes the front seat. And the beloved fills your consciousness. That is love, true love. And it's very difficult to find true love, but you will always find true love from the perfect living masters. Always you will find that unconditional true love comes from them, and it's a great experience to have it. And then devotion is our response to that. When we respond to true love, that's called devotion. So that is why the term love and devotion has been used, that when you meditate, meditation is still the same. You go back to the same place, behind the eyes. That's the starting point, always. Don't forget that. The starting point is behind the eyes, not remembering what's outside so that your attention can be withdrawn quickly within. The 10th door can open quickly. And once that is done, then you express your love to your beloved. Your beloved should be seen there. In the morning, we were trying to see how to squeeze out the words of thought. What about the images of thought? What are pictures coming of other people during meditation? We replace them with the image of our beloved. And the image of the beloved is called, third part of meditation, called dhyan, contemplation of the face of your beloved. When you contemplate that, at the same time being there, you will see how quickly the attention can be withdrawn inside. So try this meditation, being there, using the words to repeat so that the thoughts don't go anywhere, and looking at the face of the beloved and speaking, talking inside to the beloved, anything you want to talk as if we are there together. That's true meditation. So let's try that. For a little while, let's try meditation with love and devotion. So we can express our love and devotion inside to the Master or any beloved we have. Anybody that we think is a beloved, whom we can love, that image should be there and we can express it. Close your eyes, go back to the meditation chamber. Henceforth, we'll call that the meditation chamber, because that is the place where we should meditate, behind the eyes, inside the head. Go there, sit in the center, be comfortable, no stress or strain, relax there, repeat the words slowly and listen to the words, and express your love and devotion for the beloved. And if you hear a strong sound that has a pull in it, you start listening to that. Otherwise, you keep on doing your repetition of the mantra or the Simran. Welcome back. How many of you liked this session? Wow. When who are initiated will use their mantra given by the masters. Those who are not initiated can use a temporary